main event is the Gold Cup. The main man is Claude Duval. We're just the side pieces. We're the pawns in your world, Claude. Tanya, Bill, we'll all go last. Straight in, Claude, the Gold Cup. Come on.
Well, 9 of the last 10 runners, I have to tell you, have been running in the Gold Cup for the very first time. And that puts 1 or 2 here, I think, will run a big race. Road to Riches, I think, is a good value bet, each way shot. Noel Mead's never won any of the big 3, what we call the major championship races at the festival. That could well change for him. I think Road to Riches has got an each way chance. Many Clouds, if we get continuous rain, I think that he'll run a big race, and that would be a marvellous win for the aged Trevor Hemmings, who's 80 in June, he tells me.
Ever young.
He's very much so. His great ambition, I have to tell you, is for one horse to win the Gold Cup and the National in the same year, which has never been done before. Another horse running for the first time in the race, of course, would be Carlingford Lock. I mean, the McCoy factor is surely going to take a part here. I mean, in the odds. Coney Gree, I'm sure he'll end up running in the Gold Cup. I think he would attempt to make all. The last horse to do that, of course, was Cool Dawn. And, of course, he is a novice, so you go right back to the darling Bobby Beasley winning on Captain Christie, probably before you were born, Luke.
Give or take 30 years, I would have thought.
Lord, I wasn't born when Corso won it.
Your friend, the great Willie Mullins, of course, he's had 4 seconds in the race. He's never won it. He's been talking up all 3 of his 3 possible runners in the race. I suppose, really, if you look back at last year's race, the big mystery was why Silviano Conti didn't win it last year.
Because it's not good enough, Claude.
Well,
you were told on the video last year, lave the meeting.
Well, coming to the second last, he looked good enough, I have to tell you. Something.
Oh wait, there's a hill. Yes, I forgot about that.
I don't know quite what went wrong there, but he led over the last, and then of course he ran out, and he ended up finishing 4th. But this season, with the magic blinkers on, Paul Nichols tells me he splashed out 20 quid for a pair of these cheap pieces. I should say.
He didn't pay himself. Company account.
And along he comes and he wins the Betfair and he wins the King George, and he's done nothing wrong. I think he's a very, very worthy favourite. But as I say, I like some of these. I wouldn't have Lord Windermere on my mind. I wouldn't have him, I'm afraid. I thought he was a fluke winner last year, and lucky to keep the race when he'd actually gone past the post anyway. But Silviano Conti, I say, is a worthy favourite, but I'm going to go with Many Clouds each way and Road to Riches each way, both running in the race for the first time.
I can't even have all the stats because I do like stats, and the one that I particularly like.
Is he allowed 3 darts though? That's the important thing.
He can have 5. He's the maestro. 8 of the last 10 winners have been placed or won at the festival before. And I always think course form is massive, and particularly in the big one, you want horses that have run in RSAs and things like that and come through and prove themselves. So I think Road to Riches is the only horse that fits every single stat apart from one, and that's not having run at Cheltenham before. So I can see where you're coming from for that. Go on, Bill.
Silviano Conti, what price would he be if this was run at Haydock or Kempton? I mean, he'd be even money, 6-4 shot. It's the Cheltenham factor. He's never delivered at Cheltenham, but I don't believe that's enough of a reason to eliminate him from this, because he is the best staying chaser in England and Ireland, and everyone says, yeah, he's been beaten at Cheltenham 3 times. The fellow was beaten at Cheltenham 3 times before he came back and won his Gold Cup. Beaten a short head, bombed out when favourite, came 4th, then came back and won his Gold Cup. So you can. Horses get wiser, stronger, and I think Silviano Conti is a better horse this year. Last year's race was a weird race because, him and Bosworth, when they jumped the last together in front, there was no way they were not going to finish 1st and 2nd. And then the near side group of all the rags just seemed to kind of burst their way through and beat them. They seemed to get outstayed. And there aren't 2 better stayers in the UK than Bosworth and Silviano Conti. I actually think Silviano Conti will win the Gold Cup this year. I think he'll be ridden with a bit more constraint. I don't think they'll set sail for home at the second last like they did last time. It's very attritional. You need to stay every yard of it. I respect Many Clouds, I expect Road to Riches, I expect Carlingford Lock, but I think Silviano Conti will win. For me, the value in the race is Lord Windermere. And everyone says, oh, you're just following Lord Windermere again and again. But He did favour for me in this room when we tipped him up for the RSA chase. He loves Cheltenham. He is coming back.
The 2-1 bill to say he backed it last year is just copped, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
I'll pay that out later.
Yeah, well,
big price that was.
I was going to say, I didn't want to embarrass you by you not mentioning it, but I was going to mention it. But all I would say with Lord Windermere is that if he was trained by anyone else, he wouldn't be 16th or 14th. He's on a hat trick. He's coming back. He's won the RSA chase. He's won the Gold Cup. He ran better last time in Ireland. He stays every yard of the trip. I just think he's a bit of value. But I would say Silvanaco Conti with Lord Windermere each way.
Go on, Tanya.
I was just worried that he's run last time out, Lord Windermere, because he hit the front.
Far too soon.
Yeah, I grant you that, but Foxrock looked beaten, and he came again, and
He's a bit of a monkey though, Foxrock, isn't he?
very good monkey.
Good monkey,
I wouldn't mind
Might win
it.
this next year.
He ought to have been in this year, and he
I
ought
thought
to have
he'd
been
be-
in the Grand National this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But
Well
I suppose
punted Cheltenham last
Cheltenham
year,
been
well
after him.
punted then. He's not one to get the job done, is he?
Well, Foxrock went past, and we have to acknowledge so too did Carlingford Lough, and I just think that the same will happen in the Gold Cup. Carlingford Lough will have Lord Windermere's measure, but will anything have Carlingford Lough's measure? Well, Silvanaco Conti this year appears to be a stronger animal, and the rivals he's got to face seem to be weaker than, or they come into the race with not so much of a portfolio as he has in previous years. So Silvanaco Conti's got a good base. He won very easily. The King George, he had it won halfway really, and then just eased off the gas. Many clouds winning the Hennessy. Many people thought that Jack Adam was going to win the Hennessy, but his petrol ran out, and then he came out and just trotted round to win the fight.
Cue me up.
Jack Adam trotted round to say, hello, here I am, I'm going to win the Gold Cup next, kind of scenario. The whole key of this race is Coneygree, whether Coneygree runs or not. If Coneygree runs, then this will be going a million mile an hour, and something will potentially pick it up. If he doesn't run, who's going to set the pace? I'm going to select Jack Adam in the race. I was so impressed with him in the Thaisties.
There's all sorts of puns of changing the guard, the young pretenders, everything. And I just sort of jotted down there. I remember when we had the Ryder Cup on, and everyone always goes on about Woods and Mickelson and all this. And Spieth and Reed came out and just showed everyone, you know what, you don't need experience, we're good, this is how it's done. And I think this is the changing the guard. England v Ireland, our two best young horses, Coneygree and Jack Adam. I think Silvanaco Conti, I don't think that's his track. Many Clouds, I couldn't like a horse more than I like him. I just don't think he's quite top class enough to win a Gold Cup. Road to Riches, I like course form. Carlingford Lough, you know, last year he had his go. I just think that Coneygree and Jack Adam are the two best young horses in England and Ireland. The way that won the Thaisties, Conegree's just battered everything. I mean, we're at the scene of the crime here. For all the nerds out there trying to guess what the course in the background it is Plumpton. We can still hear Sarah Bradstock moaning in the parade ring now, 6 months on. Let's get over that now. Let's concentrate on a Gold Cup. And for me, I'm going to do it as it's on camera just in case. I'm going to put up the forecast, reverse forecast, Coneygree and Jack Adam, and let England and Ireland let their two best young ones fight it out. So for me, selection time in the big one, I'm going to go Coneygree and Jack Adam. I'll just lean with Jack Adam because it's slightly bigger and then I get paid out more on my forecast. Claude?
I think the favourite is a very worthy favourite, but at the prices I'm going for Road to Riches.
Road to Riches for Claude.
Silvanaco to beat Lord Windermere.
Another forecast for you.
Jack Adam.
There we go. Well, you know the number, 08000 521 321, but whatever you back in the Gold Cup and all the Cheltenham Festival, we really do wish you all the best of luck.